Yeah, thank you, Gordon. Actually, Norman's point about his appeal that learn English very well, proper English, but at least retain your own language at home. You know, one can look at it as an interpretation. One can actually interpret it as accommodation, but I would say that this accommodation is in the blood of every Indian, because our language hierarchies are a little different. So you're talking about the dialect that Joseph has used. We have coined a new term, and this term was, again, thanks to the British administration, called mother tongue. And mother tongue has been defined in our census in 10 different ways. Different census operations define it differently. And yet, they say that this is all mother tongue. So all those 3,500 mother tongues, or the dialects that are spoken in India, that's being talked about, 1652 rationalized mother tongues and 1792 other mother tongues. It's very interesting terms that they've chosen. And they do not really have the right to be used in the loose sense, not in the legal sense, because the Constitution says you can also write in your mother tongue and appeal to the court or to the government, etc. But actually, it doesn't happen like that. Now, where English comes, the problem with the word of accommodation in Indian context is that Indians are probably the greatest accommodation people, because one of the British journalists had asked me one day, can you tell me what exactly is the dictionary entry of the word jugaad in India? So I had to tell him that this is perhaps going to enter into Oxford Dictionary very soon. But jugaad in India is accommodation on anything that you want to know. You don't think this machine is going to work? Yes, it will work, because there are mechanics who can make it work in India with Indian system of adjusting the various parts of the machine with Indian small parts. Actually, in terms of language, when Star TV entered in India, the announcement was that this is the death of all Indian language television. Now there will be Star, and there will be English and English and English, nothing else. I think somebody somewhere must be laughing, because what happened is now we have Star Bangla, Star Hindi, Star Marathi, Star Gujarati, everything Star, including Zee TV. Okay, so Zee Marathi, Zee Bangla, Zee Hindi. ETV, also ETV in so many languages. So multilingualism is not going to leave us. What we are going to do is, instead, we're going to learn English so well and start producing the best possible writers of fiction and poetry in English, so much so that the British bookshops will be flooded by Indian authors. And I have been noticing this as I travel through Europe, that the best possible bestsellers are all Indian authors. So I was quite surprised that what is this? Is it a written strategy to master the language of the colonial rulers and then upset them? Or is it an unwritten strategy that has happened here? But whatever it is, I think Norman's policy, Norman, of course, was he was feeling cornered by the advent of that language. But English did not threaten us so much, or didn't surprise us so much, because we had our own strength of languages. And now, as I notice from the ICANN statistics of language use on the internet, and this is a recent survey that was done by KPMG, that next year, Indian language internet is crossing over the English internet volume, which is very surprising. If you actually add up to Tamil and Hindi and other major Telugu internet users, it has already surpassed English. But no, one single language is going to be more used than English language. So in a way, it's a very interesting game that is happening in India, that in India, a new kind of language hierarchy is emerging. If you look at the 22 languages in the constitution, all of them are not doing so well. About 8 of them are really competing with English. Another 8 are competing with the first set of 8. And the third group of people, the group of languages, they are trying to struggle and find their feet. So this is the kind of hierarchy, graded hierarchy that is happening here. Now, we would be failing in our understanding of the point that Norman was making if we did not raise the issue of diglossia, or in French, diglossie, which Massai had talked about, and then Ferguson had talked about, and Fishman had popularized that English and Indian languages are kind of a high code, low code situation. Thus that you had the Arabic al-Lafza al-Fusa, the Greek system of Katha-Repusa and Demotiki. Now, if similarly in Indian languages system, or Indian system, English is there as a high code, but if you cannot speak Hindi very well, being a Tamilian, being a Bengali, or being a Marathi, then you are not able to manage the L code. And you are below somewhere, neither how there, and all these various other Indian languages, and still below are those mother tongues. This is a kind of hierarchical system that has emerged in the Indian context. But I'm not sure if this is not the case in Nepal. Perhaps this is also the case in Nepal, and to some extent in Pakistan, not in Bangladesh. Bangladesh situation is a little different because Bengali dominates so much that Bangladeshis are very proud because they got their space or the land or the nation on the strength of language. But otherwise, in South Asia, everywhere, including in Sri Lanka, English has played this kind of a role of being a role of an elite language, of a language of the people of particular class. And everybody, since they want to move up in the class hierarchy, so to be able to move up, the key to success is English. So that's why it works like that. But nobody is going to leave their own language. This is the interesting thing that's happening. And I'm sure there is a lesson to learn, definitely from the South Asian context in this case, for many other minority language groups.